you all? It is Mud, and I wanted to tell you a few things I've done since I last saw you guys. I've done a few things off camera. I've taken some stills, but a lot of stuff I got done, it was kind of meticulous little stuff cutting. And quite honestly, I'm running out of videos. I've already submitted 4. They only really want 6. I might have to go 7, but you know, a few things are happening here. It's getting close. I need to get this thing done. That's one main thing. So I'm kind of working on it any minute I get, and I just don't always have time to set up the cameras. And I want to show you what I got done. Hey, also I want to show you my shirt here. This is a John Prine shirt. Me and my buddy Mark went to 3 John Prine shows in 2018, and this was the second one. I think the first one was in May in San Diego. This one was September in Portland. And then we saw him in Phoenix in December. So there was 3 shows. That's why this was 2 of 3. But anyway, and then keep it up, Scruffy. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever saw John Prine's pick holder, but it was a little fox with a big gigantic thing sticking out of it. Anyway, that was just some fun stuff. And I don't know if you guys know, probably not, but I actually built a guitar for John Prine, which was pretty cool. Just always loved his music, and I was making guitars for a lot of people, and I decided, hey man, you know what, I'm going to make one for John Prine. And if you see the Grammy photos, the promotional photos for the Grammy, where he's kind of sitting there in a suit hugging a guitar, well, that's my guitar, and that's pretty hip. I'm pretty hip about all that stuff. I was really grateful and thankful that I actually got to get him a guitar, you know, before he passed and everything, and sat down with him for about a half hour. He played me a couple of songs on it. That was pretty cool, man. That's irreplaceable stuff. But okay, so one thing I've done is the F-holes. I got the F-holes cut into the top, and as you can see, you know, all my relief cuts are here in the back where the pots are going to go. I'm probably going to add a mini switch. The other thing I did is I actually made these little inserts. See if I can get them out of here. I made these little inserts for inside the F-hole cavities that are in the main guitar, but I'm not going to use them. I'm going to make some out of koa. I decided to do koa binding on this thing, so I'm not going to use these maple ones. I'm just going to pull these out, and I am going to remake them out of koa. Koa is a little classier. I kind of was just experimenting and just decided I just didn't care for it. So anyway, I'm going to redo that. So here's the little slots for the F-holes. So once this is on top of there, well, if you put it on the right way, Mud, you know, you'll see down in there, but you won't ever see the pots, which are in close proximity to it, which would be normally what would happen if you put them this close to your F-holes. And these are my little dragon tail F-holes. It's kind of funny because this thing, when you get it finished, it's going to look like a gargoyle down in here. So anyway, all right, so here's the fingerboard, and as you can see, I've got this thing all taped up, and that's because I got the koa binding on there, and I needed to stick it on there. I also made a head cap out of the exact same piece of wood that the body came out of. So there's the head cap. I made some koa binding. I've already used some of it on the fingerboard, but I've got all this koa binding that I ripped out. And then also I grabbed me another piece of koa that I'm actually going to remake these little guys out of, so they match the rest of the guitar. So yeah, sometimes, man, you're floating along, you're doing your thing, and next thing you know, you change your mind. And that's okay, it's totally cool. And then here's the maple neck. And I've got most of this pretty much buttoned up. I've got the slot in there. I've got the head cap or my headstock drawn out on there, which is good because I'll miss this little groove here. And again, I've had this neck for a really long time. I'm just really happy it's about time it's getting used. So anyway, that is that guy. So that's some of the stuff I've been doing while we were gone. Next thing I'm going to do is pull this tape off. I am going to create those 2 little inserts. I'm going to black out a little bit more around these F-holes. I am going to I'm going to start sanding the neck down, so the neck pocket, I can get the glue-in pocket all set and all that kind of stuff. So this video is going to be sort of a chunks of little stuff that I'm doing all along the way. Coolio. I think that's about it for now. What is happening? It's Mud, and I want to show you some pretty cool stuff that I've been doing. At the same time, you know, I'm sorry I couldn't film everything. This guitar build-off guitar needs to be done pretty soon, and I've been working on it when I've been teaching at the school. So anyway, the students get to see it. It's pretty cool, but I don't have time to set up cameras every time I run downstairs for 5 minutes and work on it. So that being said, I'm going to show you what I've been doing. Oh yeah, this is my Quisp shirt. This is Q, stands for Quisp. It was a cereal I used to eat as a little kid, and that's all it stands for. Here's the deal. I got this guitar going here, and show you guys what's happening. So I've done the headstock. I got the headstock all laid out and all the holes drilled. I have the fingerboard roughed out. I'm gonna do some inlay on there, but for right now, it is just roughed out. Okay, I've got the truss rod inside of the neck. I have the neck semi-carved. This gets cut off, and there's some other stuff that's going to happen here. So this actually will get cut off here, and the neck will get carved. The volute will get redone, and some of that stuff. And then here is the body. Okay, so I've done quite a bit to this. The F-holes are done. I got my little inserts inside of there. I've got the Strat style output jack inlaid in there. It's my tone and my veritone and my volume. And then this is the chicken head or the rotary switch, whatever. This is what's going to do all the multiple functions on the pickup configuration. So that's all the stuff I've been doing on the outside here. On the inside, I've done a couple of things. So you can see where I had to thin out for the F-holes and actually cut the F-holes out on both sides. So I got that all done. And then prior to gluing this on, I'm going to go ahead and shield, because everything's so buried inside the guitar. I want to get the shielding done ahead of time. Now, there is a shielding paint you can use, but I don't like it. It takes a really long time to dry and it stinks. And I am totally cool with just using this type of shielding here. So anyway, that is the inside of it, you know, and this is the outside here. Okay, now let's take a look at the rest of the body. So now, the back side of this body here is pretty much done. These are Koa inserts. These are little Koa pieces that I put inside, so when you look through the F-hole, this is what you're going to see. This here, I've blackened all the edges. This is my wire chase for my pickup cavities that are not routed yet, but I know where they're laid out, so I'm going to route the pickup cavities, and then I'll have a shielded wire chase that actually goes into the cavity. There's the other F-hole. There's the hole for the chicken head, volume, veritone switch, and the master tone, and then there's my output. Okay, and then finally on the back here, you can see I've got my pickup cavity mostly shielded. I've got the ledge cut for the control cavity cover, and but I still got a little cleaning up to do. I got a little blurb here I need to work on. There's just a few little things on this, and then this is also going to get comfort carve, belly carve here, a little knee carve down here at the bottom, and then obviously this carve here for when you're playing up the neck so your hand doesn't hit this backside. So that is all the stuff I've done when I was not on camera. That's all cool stuff, man. It's gonna look really groovy. I'm kind of digging it already. Main thing is I want it to be a player. I want to put this thing together, set it up, and give it to some rocker that is going to jam out on it. So cool, that's just what I wanted to show you. So now I'm gonna get back to work. Hasta la wedgie. Hey, what is up? It's Mud, and I am getting ready to glue the top on this guitar. So, one thing I did is I taped off the F-holes from the inside, and I cut it all nice and clean to fit in there, because once I spray this guitar, I don't want a bunch more stuff getting inside the F-holes, because I won't be able to get in there to clean it up, or sand it, or buff it, or any of that kind of fun stuff. So I just put some tape over there and I taped them off, and hopefully it'll hold up long enough for me to get the sanding and the spraying and the buffing done. And then once that's done, I'll just get in there with some needle nose. I'll push them loose and pop them out of there. I want to go ahead and glue this thing on. One thing I'm going to be real careful about is I want to stay away from the edges of the F-holes. I'll glue pretty close to it, but I'll leave a little room. Same thing with around the cavities here. And then I've just got a bunch of my cam clamps. So I'm just going to start laying this stuff out. Okay, so here's what's important. Now I'm checking for my center lines. Got to make sure these things are right on. Don't want to screw around with that. Don't want to get to the end, find out my glue is all nice and dry, and my center lines are also no bueno. Yo, 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 how y'all are? Well, this body is glued together, so I am going to sand this edge out here and make it nice and flat. Alrighty, so now I'm ready to route these pickup cavities. So I'm going to knock this out real quick. Should go pretty smooth, I hope. All right, gang, here's the deal. Out of everything you do on a guitar, probably one of the most important things, well, the most important thing is your neck pitch. If any of you guys ever bought a guitar that the neck pitch was bad on and your friendly local luthier said, you know, it's not worth fixing, you know, you get these inexpensive guitars, especially acoustics, and the neck comes up and it's just not really worth doing resets on. You can buy another guitar for what you're going to pay a luthier to fix it. So my point is I'm getting ready to set the neck on this guitar, and it is absolutely critical that I get it right because it's a set neck. So it's actually going to be glued into the body of the guitar. So once I do that, that's where this neck lives, and I need to make sure it's absolutely correct. So one of the first things I did on the back of the instrument here is I have my center line, which lines up exactly with the center line on the top of the guitar. So I was real careful about that when I glued it up. So make sure that was correct. And then the next thing I did is I gave myself some parallel lines across here. And this neck joint is going to be a lot like a Les Paul. It's a 16th fret neck joint. And so what I did is I put some nice brand new paper on my 12-inch disc sander, and I flat sanded this here. So it's very flat this way, and it's actually perpendicular to the center line. Now what I'm doing is I'm actually taking my neck. Now there's going to be some other stuff going on. There's actually a block that will go on here. It will be glued to the fingerboard and the neck and doweled in. This will get a heel cap. There's a lot of other little miscellaneous stuff that's going to happen here. But for now, what I'm trying to do is get my pitch correct. So I've sanded this part of the heel of the neck with a little bit of pitch in it, and I'm still dialing that in, and that's what I'm going to be doing right now. So if I set this on here, now one of the things you need to know is you need to know how high your bridge is. So my bridge right here is about about 5/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit under, about maybe a heavy 9/16 right here in the center of this bridge. So that means that when this is, if I mount this thing all the way down flush with the top of the instrument, which it won't be, it'll actually be up a bit, then I would need at least that amount of pitch there. So, but you got to remember, I have no frets in this. There's no frets in here yet. There's no neck relief pulling up. There's no action height. So I'm actually setting the pitch on this according to the raw thickness of this bridge itself. So I'm gonna set my neck on here, and I'm checking for two things. Now, right now, I'm probably about 1/8 of an inch longer than my 16th fret, and that's giving me a chance to dial it in. Once I get it dialed in side to side, my side to side pitch here and my vertical pitch, then I will push it right to that 16th fret. I'll have some little jigs mounted onto my sander there. So right now, let's see where we are. This is no frets. So I'm going to hold my straight edge right here in the center of this, set it down. And right now I am still just a little above the thickness of my bridge, and I actually want to bring that down even a little bit more than that. I want to touch almost the bridge itself, not necessarily the saddles, because I don't want this bridge way up off the top of the instrument. That way you have to bring all your pickups way up. Now some guys like a little more meat on the bones. They like those strings way up off the top. I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. So it's a Tune-o-matic. They will be up off of the top, but not so far, you know, that you can park a truck under it. So that's kind of what we're going for. So right now I'm going to bring my pitch down just a little bit more. So, okay, so what I got here is I've got a line that is right at my 16th fret. It's sitting right there. And I've got a board on here. And since the neck has that angle to it, you know, it's got that kind of narrows at this end, I've got a board on here. Now this is already flat. This has been sanded flat here. So this butts up against there, and that helps me with my side to side pitch. Right now, I'm a little pitchy towards the north. I kind of overcorrected, went a little too far this way. So I need to get it to pitch back down a little bit. So it means I got to take a little bit more off of this side. So what I'm going to do is, again, this is kind of flying by the seat of your pants a little bit. You can get little angle jigs and stuff and mount on there. For me, I'm just going to pull this over a little bit. Not much, just a hair. Tighten this back down. Now, I kind of lucked out. My vertical pitch is doing really well, and I'll show you that in a minute, but I want to go ahead and try to bump this thing so my side to side gets correct. Now, when I'm doing the vertical pitch, what happens is I'm actually moving this table. This table is adjustable. You can loosen these two wheels up on the side, and you can change the angle this way. So it makes it really nice, this type of sander. But then there's also this side angle that I need to correct. Some guys will actually set their pitch while the neck is still square, after they've done their truss rod while everything's still square, and that's fine. The way this guitar's been going together with all the little intricacies of it, didn't have the opportunity to do that, so I'm going to do it this way. So I'm just going to flip this on. And I'm going to bump it. And some folks will put pencil lines on here and just wait till they're all gone. I've got one nice little bump on there, and I can feel, what I do is I just feel for the heat. Make sure that the whole thing is hot, and then I know that the sanders hit that whole surface. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. You've got your 12-inch disc sander with the adjustable table to get your vertical pitch, and then I've just got a flat-sided board on here, which I move slightly in order to correct my side-to-side pitch. Now, once I've done that, once I know that I'm good and everything is cool, then I'll go ahead and push this thing all the way down to the 16th fret line, and then I'll have that body joint right where I want it. All right, here we go. So after massive amounts of back and forth with this neck pitch, I've got it just about perfect. And when I say that, I mean pretty much DNO. Right here at the line, these small lines right here, right where that uncompensated string length is. And the first ones, I was still a little bit too far towards the bottom of the guitar. That was these guys here. And then I shifted that pitch just a little bit and it came up just perfect. So right now I'm at about 1 and 9/30 seconds, 1 and 9/30 seconds on both sides. The other thing I'm looking at is how far I am in from the ends of the pickup, which is just about right on both of these. I'm in about just about 1/8 of an inch, which is good, because I based all of my pickup routes off of my center line there, and I want to make sure that I'm keeping everything straight. And it's really critical when that when this fingerboard, when this neck gets glued on there with the fingerboard on, that it points in the right direction. Otherwise, your pickups aren't correct, and the strings aren't over top of the pole pieces on the pickup, and everything's all funky, and that's not cool. So let's talk about this again. So what I'm going to do here is I've got the neck with the fingerboard pinned onto it. Actually going to put it back on here. I kind of did this before, but I'll show you. I've got my little center lines on the back here. I've got little center lines in here, and I got that lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and spin this bad boy around, and I'm just going to get a clamp down here on the fingerboard in order to hold the whole kit and caboodle together. Double checking my center line, making sure everything's pulled down flat. The neck is up against the fingerboard. Fingerboard is up against the body. Snug that up. And then so what I did is I took my straight edge, held it along this edge here, and that's where I put the mark right down there at the scale length line. Boom. And then I did it again on this side. And like I said, I went back and forth quite a few times until I got it just right. This is so critical. You really just want to get it perfect. If you can get it perfect, life will be easy on you from here on out. And then my vertical pitch also. So basically I'm holding it. I'm being very mindful to hold the straight edge right in the center of the board, because obviously with that arch, if you angle it at all, that pitch is going to come up one way or the other. So I've got that there. I've got my bridge, and I slide it up right to about the bridge position, and it's just barely touching there. And I like that. That makes me happy. So now I'm going to create the pocket for the block that actually mounts to the neck. Hey, all right. So I am back, and I was thinking about this a little earlier. It's kind of funny, but you know, I was thinking about all the routes that went into this thing. So let's count. 1, the inside of the F-holes, so 2 routes for that. The F-holes themselves, so 1, 2, that's 4. The wire chase, that would be 5. The pickup cavity, 6, 7. There's actually 3 routes for the output jack, 1 in the body and then 2 here, so that's 8, 9, 10. And then we have 11, 12, and this will be 13. And then if you count the truss rod slot, that's 14. So I guess what I'm getting at is you use a router a lot in this. So if you're gonna get into this stuff, get a router, get a good one, get a nice plunge router with also a regular base as well, and just get comfortable with it. You know, this is key. You got to be able to route a nice set of Forstner bits, which did all the, you know, so if you look here, you see I'm getting ready to do this neck pocket here, and I've used a Forstner bit to actually take most of the material out, so a lot less stress on the routers themselves. And that's the way I did pretty much everything. You know, you get in there, you drill most of it out, and that way the router's really just kind of cleaning up the edges and the surface of the bottom. Makes it nice. So I'm getting ready to, I'm going to route this neck pocket in. So I got my template on there, and actually the cool thing is the template for the pickup itself is actually about the perfect size for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that, and then I think that's probably all we're going to do in this session here, and then I'll make the block to fit in there, and I'll start fitting it on the neck, and when I get that thing fitted on the neck, I'll show you what's going on there. Okay, right on, man. The final of 14 routes is done. Thank you very much, little router. You have saved my butt more than once. So here we go, man. There it is. And now I got to get to work. Yeah, this is just the beginning. So I got to do a bunch of cars. I got to fit this block, get the neck glued on, all that kind of fun stuff. So, rock and roll, baby. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.